Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we will be working on a kind of really upper class fancy residential area. So we're going to be focusing on this area here. So I've kind of elevated the terrain. I put in this road right here, so we're going to be working in here. Mostly residential, a little bit of commercial as well, because that's really important to have nearby. But just as I speed build through, I just want to mention first of all, if you haven't checked out my Amsterdam video, please go ahead and have a look at that, because I put in so much effort into that and not many people watched it. So go have a look at that if you haven't already, and leave a suggestion as to what city I should do next. And also, don't forget to check out my mods and asset list, which is in the comments below. Also the Discord chat, which is a really great place if you want to interact with me directly. My Instagram is also there. And yeah, so don't forget to do all of that stuff and leave a comment here maybe. I don't know. So anyway, back to this video. So I guess my inspiration was like the Beverly Hills. Like, it's really compact, the roads are really small, so that's why I'm using this road here. And you'll notice a lot of the time I'll use one-way roads, and that's because this road here, it's two-way road, but it doesn't allow parking, and without parking I feel like it looks really unrealistic, because if there's just no parking in the whole area, it's just going to look a little bit empty to me, in my opinion. So a lot of the time I'll use the one-way road that has the parking on the side, and so it's going to be a lot of one-way streets, a lot of kind of big circular type designs. So the main road there, that's the one main road going through this area, but it's on the lowered down terrain area, so it's on the flatter area, and all of the fancy residential are going to be up here. And then there's also going to be a little bit on the other side of the main road as well, kind of waterfront mansions, I guess. So this is the roads that I was talking about, and so they might be really far in your opinion, like it might be really far for you to drive in your own opinion, but I really made sure that there's definitely ways to turn around and get back. Not that it really matters in the game, but we want to make it kind of realistic at least. So this terrain, like, that wasn't even there before. It was kind of there, but it wasn't really as obvious, so I really elevated it up just to give it more of an interesting characteristic, because if it's flat, to me, it's not going to be as interesting. So it's really good to have some kind of commercial access nearby if you're building a huge new estate, whether it be low socioeconomic or really fancy. It's good to have some kind of shopping nearby. So you'll see, if you look on the map, if you look at all of the estates like on the outskirts of town, you'll see that they're probably usually near a main road, like a highway, and then there's a shopping center nearby. So that's just an example, but it's really good to have a lot of commercial. And for this area I didn't actually put in any parks, and that's because I thought in the next episode I might do a bit of a college type park area, kind of on the flatter areas down there. So the hill, let's just call it the hills, the hills, the fancy hills, doing air quote. So the hills doesn't have any parks. It's very compact, and to make it look really fancy, I put in so many trees. I cannot tell you guys how many trees I put in. And once I finished, the game was really laggy. Like, I didn't even like manicure it. I really put them in just really quickly, just because I wanted it just to look filled in. This is the more fancy type of area. So the main road there will have some kind of sound barrier that blocks the noise from the fancy area. This is the extra fancy area, and this little part here, this is going to be a little shopping area. Just the square design is where the shops will be, but the other tiny little road right there, that is where there's going to be basically only mega mansions. And yeah, and I kind of prefer that area than the hills, if I'm being honest, because like, it's right near the main road, even though the main road isn't that busy. It's got a lot of greenery, it's got a really nice waterfront view, the shops are really close by. Anyway, I just like it. So you can see I kind of got the basic design done already, and yeah, it comes together really quick. And so when I zone it all, I actually have my own types of what is it called, like theme. So instead of because if I just zone it and then let any buildings build, it's going to be a real mixture of like so many different things, and it's going to look really odd. So I had to make my own theme where it's only very basic houses and basic mansions, and then once I let them kind of build in, I went through and then added in more mansions. And this is like a park area that kind of inspired me to build the college area in the next video. So I just put that there now, just as kind of like a reminder that that's what I want to do for the next video. And then so the college will be in that area, and so yeah, just inspiration. And I think it fits in really well with the hills type of fancy area as well. I think in terms of zoning, you don't want to go too over capacity, because since there's like it's a bit of a hilly area, if you completely zone it all, there's going to be really weird angles between each house. So that's why in some of the areas you'll notice that I don't actually zone the whole area that is potentially zonable. So I leave different gaps in just so the terrain doesn't become really ugly, and then so that the terrain that I don't fill in will be filled in with trees to kind of mask the ugly terrain area anyway. So yeah, I'm letting all the buildings just build themselves naturally, and like I said, I'm not building all of the zonable areas, like I'm only doing like half of those front ones. So I'm letting the buildings build on their own, and then I actually go ahead and delete some of the actual zoning, which you'll see in a minute, just because the houses that we're building are very low type buildings. I wanted there to be a mixture of kind of medium class versus upper class buildings in this area. So yeah, like I just said, I go ahead and delete some of the zoning, some of the buildings, just so I can put in some very specific larger mansions. And in this hilly part, there's no specific area where all the mansions are. I really try to mix it up a little bit. But once we get down onto the other side of the flat area there at the side of the video, it's very just mansions. So it's kind of like a transition between the medium class to the mansion area once we get down the side of the hill. And so these are all of the these are just the generic mansion in-game ones. I couldn't be bothered to download a whole lot of new buildings because it's going to make the video really the game really laggy. Okay, so there we go. There isn't really too many mansions in game, if you haven't noticed. Like there really isn't many, but so a lot of them I had to use 2 or 3 times, to be honest. So like it doesn't really matter because I'm not really going to zoom in this area too much and really notice that anyway. So this is the commercial district. It's a very small, but it's really just catering for the need from the hills area. So it doesn't really need to be that big, but it's still very handy to have nearby. And the road going through the center of it is kind of the what's it called, the pedestrian friendly preferred road. So just to give it a bit of a more relaxed vibe. I don't know if that really makes a difference, but so yeah, this is the commercial area, and if it floods, then they lose all of their shops. So bad luck, and also the houses will flood as well. But anyway, I wish it kind of did rain and flood in the game. That would be very interesting and also very annoying. I had to turn off fires in the game because it was just becoming so annoying. I think I had to download a mod to remove that. So that's in my mods and asset list if you do want that, just in general. But yeah, the fires are so annoying because you build like this huge lovely area, and then next minute it's all destroyed. So turned it off. Super annoying. Never want to see it again. I turned off all of the natural disasters as well. So okay, so I'm just filling in the hills area with some trees. This actually took a really long time because there's a lot of trees to get through. So I'm going to speed up the tree part to like ×5. Just because we need to get through it really quickly. It took so long, and like if I went through and like manicured this whole area like with very fancy different types of trees and stuff like that, like oh my god, the lag would be super horrible. And like the YouTubers who are very particular with detail, I notice when they press play, their game is super laggy, and like how is that even enjoyable? Like to me, that is just so, I don't know, it just undesirable, if that's the right word. So that's why I never put in too much detail. Since I got my new computer, yeah, I've put in a little bit more detail, but still like not that much. It's mostly just trees. So because I still do play a lot off camera, like I will tweak a lot of things, or a lot of the time I'll just like I'll just zoom in and out of my city just for fun. So this is the, I guess you'd call it even more fancier type area for the hills. So this area, it's not very big, but it's the area that I said has a really nice view. It's got the hills in the background. It's got the waterfront living. The roads are very squishy, but I kind of like that because it just makes a very nice compact community vibe, and like you're really close to the shops, lots of trees, vegetation. So yeah, it's good in my opinion, and maybe I'd want to live there. It's not too far from the city as well, and I think that's quite realistic to have a very upper class, low density living near the city, because a lot of like the really rich people who work in the city, they don't necessarily want to live in the city because the houses there are obviously much more expensive and they're a lot smaller. So I guess it's realistic to have really rich areas near the downtown. Not a huge amount, but just a little bit. So I'm just adjusting the greenery as well. So that's just the in-game, I think that's it, the in-game terrain mod, I think. So yeah, that is pretty much it. The only other thing I need to do is just add in some trees and some vegetation, other vegetation in this area, and that is pretty much it. I think I'll go ahead and do the college slash like recreational area. I think it would really fit in well with this area, and it would really encourage people to live in this new estate, I think. But I think my inspiration wasn't exactly a new estate being built. It was kind of me building an estate that was built maybe like 30 or 40 years ago, like kind of estate that doesn't really have the same principles that it does today. It doesn't have the same planning rules as today. So that was kind of what I was thinking, because if it was a new development, a new estate that was built today with today's planning laws, I think it would be kind of a bit different. Well, it would be quite different as well. And yeah, so there we have it, you guys. That is pretty much it. It's a quick video, but I feel really good about how this has turned out. Like when you look at the whole thing zoomed out, it's going to blend in quite well with the existing urban area, and yeah, I think it just looks good. So next episode will probably be the college slash kind of school district. Maybe I'll just do one huge block of like education facilities and recreational facilities. It's going to have a lot of cars coming in and out of it, but I think we can deal with it. We can handle it. So I didn't put any education in the new housing estate area at all yet. So I think I definitely need to put that in. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I'll be back very soon with another video, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye for now.